Well, Canon has finally announced the release of the new R5 and R6 cameras, and everybody is going absolutely nuts. Greatest things in sliced bread. And but do they live up to the hype? Now, only a few reviewers have received a pre-release sample of the R5 to test, and the reviews all say that the images and the video quality are outstanding, which I have no reason to doubt. I love Canon. I'm a Canon fanboy. I've always used Canon. I love them. And I love the quality of the images. I love the color science. Canon has outstanding color science. But I have to ask myself, is an 8K RAW video camera in a mirrorless body, is it feasible? Is it something that will actually work? And the reviews that are out there now, there's only a few, but Peter McKinnon is one, and there are some big issues. One of the big issues is file size. If you're recording an 8-bit RAW, I mean, those files are going to be outrageously huge. One reviewer said that he put in a 64 gigabyte CF Express card, and he couldn't get 5 seconds of video on it. So in order to record anything, you're going to have to outlay a lot of money for a big enough CF Express card to record any kind of video. I mean, you can get a card for about $600 that you might be able to get a 20-25 minutes of video on. So I mean, if you're out shooting something, I mean, you're either going to have some way to offload that card quickly, or you're going to need more than one card. And at $600 a pop, that's a lot of money. That's going to add up real fast. And even though the camera has 2 card slots, it's got an SD card slot and it's got a CF Express card slot, you can only record 8K video to the CF Express card. So, I mean, you're stuck. You're going to be outlaying a lot of money for cards. The other issue, and it's a big one, is overheating. People are saying that this, and it's understandable, this camera is going to overheat fast if you're recording at 8K. Even if you're recording at 4K 120 frames per second, you're going to overheat pretty darn quickly. I mean, let's think about this. You've got these big cinema cameras that are recording in 6K, 8K, and they've got huge vents, they've got fans in them, all to keep the heat down. Even the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema cameras have fans in them. So, I mean, heat's an issue. And if you've got a mirrorless body with no vents, no fans, that sucker's going to heat up fast. And then you're going to be sitting there waiting for it to cool down enough that you can record again. And then it's going to overheat, and you're going to sit and wait. I mean, if you're a hobbyist and you're just going to go out and take a couple of quick clips, and you're going to use the camera mainly for photographs, this would be a great camera, no doubt about it. But if you want this camera for video, and you're filming anything at all seriously, and it's going to be more than a few minutes long, you're out of luck. I mean, what I would like to have seen Canon do is, first of all, they've got to do something about the heating problem. I mean, if it's gonna shut down every 5 minutes because of heat, it's unusable. The other thing is the storage. What I would like to have seen them do was add a USB connection that was capable of plugging in like an SD drive. like the Samsung T5 drive. And that's, I mean, the Blackmagic does it so that you can store something. I mean, you're paying 600 bucks a pop for a CF Express card that you can only get 20 to 25 minutes of video on. I mean, who can afford that? I can't. Another issue is, who is this camera aimed at? I mean, if it's aimed at the average consumer, the camera body is $3,900, and that's US. I can't afford that. I just bought the Canon 90D. It was $1,200, and I can use my existing lenses. If I went out and bought the R5, then I'm going to have to invest in all new R lenses to get the most out of it. And then you've got more money. I mean, you've got a major investment for the camera and just a card to record on. I mean, you're looking at, oh my God, it's math. 3,900 plus 600, you're looking at $4,500. And that's without a lens. I mean, I know you can get an EF adapter, but then you're paying for an adapter. So, I mean, you're looking at, you know, maybe $5,000 to get started. And that's, I mean, I'm Joe Average. I'm a hobbyist. I mean, I've done a lot of professional work, but I'm a hobbyist now. I'm retired, and I purchase a camera to enjoy. I take a lot of photos, and I make short films, but it's for my own entertainment. It's not feasible for me to go out and spend $5,000 on a camera. I mean, I spent $1,200 on the Canon 90D, and that was after a lot of research. You know, in my position, I want a camera that's going to be the best of both worlds. I want a camera that's going to take outstanding photographs and outstanding 4K video. And the Canon 90D was it. But I did a lot of research first. And the one thing that pushed me over the edge to buy the 90D was I was watching Potato Jet do a review on heat in cameras. He was trying to overheat a bunch of different cameras. One of them was the 90D. He put them in an incubator, heated them up to see how long they would run without overheating. Well, the 90D didn't overheat. He could not get it to overheat. And this past weekend, for the holiday weekend, I took my 90D, went to my daughter's house to visit her and her family. We went to the drag strip, walked around downtown, went to the ice cream shop, and then we watched fireworks. And the whole time, I had that 90D running. I was taking photographs or I was taking video. And when we were at the drag races, it was hot. I mean, it was freaking hot. It was so hot I was expecting a guy with horns and a pitchfork dressed in red to come out and say hello. It was that hot. And my 90D, not a whimper out of it. I mean, it just kept chugging along. And the video, the 4K video, and the photographs that I get out of it are outstanding. I mean, I know you're going to say it's a crop sensor, you need a full frame. Well, I don't agree. I've used a lot of crop sensors. I've got a Canon 40D, I've had a 60D, this is my 90D, I've got an SL2, which I'm recording on right now, and I love them all. And I get outstanding photographs, outstanding video on them. On the 90D, I get, depending on the lens, I can get a paper-thin depth of field. I can get excellent bokeh. Bokeh? Sounds like Loki. But, I mean, it's outstanding. And the low light, I tried it the other night when we were watching fireworks, I was videotaping the fireworks, and it was unreal. All I had to do was bump the ISO up to 1000. I didn't have to go any higher than that, and the video was incredible. The colors of the fireworks were perfect. They were clear. It was beautiful. There was no noise. It was an incredible video. So I'm very happy with the 90D. I mean, I've had no complaints whatsoever. I mean, of course, you know, I'm a Canon fanboy. I mean, check this out. I mean, Canon. I'm filming with the Canon. I mean, I even have my original Canon. But I mean, the 90D is everything that I wanted in a camera. I can take one camera now. I can take outstanding 4K video. I can take photographs. It's just, I mean, the sound, just using a Video Micro, the Rode Video Micro. I mean, no battery power, just plug it in, and it's outstanding. So, I mean, I'm going off on a tangent here, but the thing is, Canon's put out the R5, and in my opinion, it's not ready. I mean, I love Canon. I think they've got outstanding ideas. I mean, an 8K video camera, the size in a mirrorless body. I mean, it's a great idea, but I don't think the technology is there yet. I mean, you've got file sizes that are unreasonable. You've got an overheating issue. I mean, if you got to set the camera down every 5 minutes, that's a camera I can't use. Plus the fact that you've got these 8K raw files. I mean, that's if you can afford the media to record them on. What are you going to do with them? I mean, I've got an excellent computer. I mean, this is a killer video editing computer that I built myself, and I can edit 4K videos all day long, and it doesn't even hiccup. If I threw an 8K file, one of these 8K files, raw files at it, I think it would puke all over the floor. I mean, I don't know of any. I've never had a computer that could handle that kind of file size. So you're either going to have to build one hell of an expensive computer that's got the beefiest system in it you can imagine, or you're going to have to transcode those 8K files into something that's easier to edit. And if you're doing that, then what's the point? I mean, I think Canon's got a great idea. I think their intentions were right on the nose. But I think they're marketing it all wrong, and I don't think the technology's ready yet. I mean, they're marketing this as a consumer camera. I don't know any consumers that are going to go spend $5,000 on a camera. I spent $1,200, and I feel like I'm out of my mind for doing that. But I did it the smart way. I sold 2 of my other cameras to pay for this one, so I wasn't really out any money. If they're marketing this camera for professionals, they're missing the mark. This camera is not for professionals. I mean, if you're on a professional video shoot, you're not going to set the camera down every 5 minutes and wait for it to cool off. I mean, you can get a professional cinema camera that's got the fans, it's got the heat distribution in it to take care of the heat. I mean, granted, you're going to pay more money, but if you're a professional, I mean, that's part of doing business. And if you're a YouTuber, I mean, 8K is just way out there. What are you going to do with 8K? You're not going to be uploading 8K videos to YouTube. You're not going to be doing your daily vlog in 8K. So, while I think Canon's got good ideas, and being able to put 8K in a body that small and get it to work, I think is a huge step. But it's not working well. And if it's not working well, is it worth paying $5,000 to get started with it? And I mean, and that's $5,000, and that's just with one card that'll give you 25 minutes of video. I mean, you have to think about things like this. I mean, an 8K camera that you can carry around just like a DSLR, that sounds great. I mean, that sounds absolutely frickin' wonderful. I mean, I would love to have an 8K camera that I can carry around like that, but not at that price point. I'm not going to take, $5,000, worth of camera out to the drag strip to videotape cars drag racing. I mean, that's, in my opinion, that's crazy. I mean, what if somebody bumps into you? What if you drop the camera? What if somebody, runs by you, grabs your camera, and runs off into the crowd? I mean, if that happened with my $1,200 camera, I would be sick. I mean, I would literally be physically sick. If it happened with $5,000, they'd be picking me up on a stretcher. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. The point is, the camera, while it's a good idea, I think it's aimed at the wrong market, and I don't think the technology is there yet. I think it will be there soon. Another issue with the camera is that you can't record in RAW in 4K. You can only record in RAW in 8K. I don't understand that. Maybe they'll fix that with a firmware upgrade. Hopefully. And that might make it a little bit more appealing. But as the camera sits now, with the issues that it's having, it's not something that I would be interested in. And I don't think it's something that a professional would be interested in. There has to be some middle market between consumers and professionals that would be interested in this camera. And Canon, don't get me wrong, I love your products. I'm going to stick with Canon. But I think you missed the mark on this one a little bit. I think you're getting there, but I think you're rushed. I think you needed some more time to get the technology right before you went to market. I mean, this is just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. In fact, most people don't agree with me. But if you like the video, hit the subscribe button. If you don't hit the subscribe button, I know where you live. I will come and find you. And we'll see you next time.